I stayed until the very end with Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched every single episode of the show, and in my opinion, I honestly think that it's overrated. Now, I might lose some subs and people are going to get mad at me for bashing Jujutsu Kaisen, but I just want to make this very clear that this isn't the kind of video where I'm trying to be like Shadow the Hedgehog and hate on everything that's popular and cool, because there are quite a few things that I actually did like about this first season. And trust me, I don't want to trash anything that has the legendary Takaya Kuroda in it, aka the Dragon of Dojima Kiryu Kazuma himself. But let's talk about why I just wasn't a huge fan of the series. I mean, as I was watching Attack on Titan and Beastars, one of the most hyped animes that I had never even seen was trending online during this time, and that was Jujutsu Kaisen. So I decided once I finished a certain series that I was going to, hey, why not give it a shot to see if it lived up to the hype, because, Jujutsu Kaisen is something that was capturing the online spectrum, and usually whenever I watch a talked or hyped up show, it usually does live up to the hype, but I honestly did not get that from watching this show. Now, whenever I watch a show that is very hyped and talked about a lot, there is usually a moment that happens with me where I realize how great the show truly is, like in the first episode of Attack on Titan, or seeing Deku and his journey to become a true hero. There will almost always be one of those moments, a holy shit moment, a moment that gives me goosebumps, but I never really got that moment from Jujutsu Kaisen. I also didn't really believe the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, mainly because it sort of feels a little bit empty. I mean, I know that this world is supposed to be a super secretive society, especially Jujutsu Tech, but I mean, it honestly just feels a little bit barren to me. And, it takes away. I felt as though maybe there could have been more students, more people, more characters to interact with. I also didn't really get the villains or their motivations, at all, other than the fact that they want to kill Gojo Satoru. So I couldn't understand or really empathize with them at all, and it just comes off of them, to me, as villains being evil for the sake of being evil. Also, I'm sorry, but Megumi, he's just a boring character. I know that he's supposed to be like this ultra serious character in anime, but to me, he just was a little bit boring, and he didn't really get interesting until the final few episodes of the season. I also didn't get the whole best friend thing between Itadori and Todo. I mean, I just didn't get it. I think those are the main points as to why I just really wasn't into Jujutsu Kaisen. But let me talk about what I did like about it, so you can see that I'm not here just to only bash on Jujutsu Kaisen, and there were actually things that I genuinely liked. So this is me, because in the editing, I had discovered that there were actually 2 points that I actually, wanted to add, in discussing of why I was not a huge fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. So I figured I'd put that in right now during the editing. And first of all, I wanted to say that, I mean, I didn't really get much in terms of real moments of character development. I mean, I know some people and their backstories, but a lot of it just was forgettable for me. The only ones that I remember, aside from Nobara, because I remember she was friends with someone and they bullied her. Um, the only ones I remember are the ones with the sisters, Maki and Mai, I believe, and also Itadori with his grandfather telling him, "Hey, help people." Those are the only ones that I remember. Everyone else's I can't seem to recall at all. Um, I just didn't see. I mean, I saw moments where the characters grew in terms of power, but not really as, people, in my opinion. And you can yell at me all you want in the comments section. That's what free speech is all about. Um, Also, the pacing in terms of the show is a little bit lackluster because there was a lot of slow moments, and I personally um, was just way more into the second half than I was into the first half of the show. Um, Second half, like, a lot of shit started happening. That's not to say that shit didn't happen in the first half, but I felt as though it started to pick up a little bit more in the second half than it did in the first one. Um, like I said, feel free to chew me out and say that I'm wrong and all this stuff. That's why we live in the great world of America, and online legislation. If you live, why am I talking about online legislation? Point is, now we can talk about the things that I did like about the show. Firstly, Gojo is just a great character, and he is probably the most interesting character throughout all of the first season. I do believe that he's one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Jujutsu sorcerers out there, just based on what we've been able to see him do alone with his immense source of power. I enjoy his happy-go-lucky attitude. I mean, look at him saying that he'll kill you. It's honestly amazing. However, he honestly has so much charm that I want to see more of him, and am sometimes disappointed when he is gone for a few episodes at a time. I just want to know more about him and his character, his backstory, and how he got to be the person that he is today. I also can't deny that both the OPs and the ending themes are just fucking bangers, and the music in general is really good. Plus, not to mention, I absolutely love the chemistry between Nobara and Itadori. Like, they just are simply a joy to look at, and I actually believed that they are friends, as opposed to Megami, who, he's just sort of there. And, I honestly don't believe, I believe Itadori and Obara a hell of a lot more than Megami and his chemistry with the other two. Not to mention, also, the animation is stellar. I mean, the work that Mappa has done is just truly amazing, especially in the fighting sequences. The imminent domain that Gojo does in the series is truly stunning.
領域展開無料空所
Once again, I stress that this video is not meant to bash Jujutsu Kaisen, because there is a lot that I do like about it, but I honestly, if you were to ask me, I don't think that it lives up to the hype that it's been given. There are some missing elements, like an understandable villain, maybe some more interesting side characters, and holy shit moments that, would make it great if they were present. I mean, every single week I would hear how good Jujutsu Kaisen is, and I was just waiting and waiting for this special moment, this moment that would convert me into thinking, yes, this is one of the best animes of all time, but I never had that moment where I was blown away, aside from whenever the animation was present. Like, People were saying that it was the most popular anime of the 2020/21 season, but I personally, I just didn't see it. I didn't see why it was so popular. Like, I just don't get it. And maybe it's just an anime that's not for me. But when the second season comes out, I'll give it a shot because as it stands now, Jujutsu Kaisen has the potential to be something great. I mean, I think this season, more than anything, was to lay a foundation of what is to come next, and especially with that teaser in the last episode of season 1. We can expect to see something big happen in the next season, and I'll be there to watch it to see if I'm right about Jujutsu Kaisen being overrated or if I'm wrong. But at this current moment in time, I think that Jujutsu Kaisen is a bit overrated. So that's been it for this episode. I wanted to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen since I just finished up the first season. Do me a favor, let me know what you guys think about the show in the comments section below. Make sure you guys hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I have been Samuel V, aka Excellent Anime Reviews, and I will see you all as soon as I can.